I feel relieved for the topping out milestone, and to say I'm a part of it and to see it when I'm old and retired, it'll put a smile on my face in 20 years.
Talking to my grandmother and my mother, back when they were younger, they used to shop at Hudson's store. To be on the same site that they shopped on and to build a new skyline is great.
I feel proud to be part of something so monumental and to make it to the end of it. I love driving to Detroit. You can see it from the highway, and so it's changing the skyline. I'll definitely be that person one day like, look kids, I built that.
It was great that I made it from the ground to the top. And it really is one of the projects where you can stand back and be proud of what you did. This is a historic project. It's probably one of the best projects I've been on. You can see it from all over the city. Every time you turn on TV, it's on TV.
See, my 5-year-old's pointed it out on the news a couple times when they do the flybys. Hey, that's Daddy's work, and that's a good feeling. Thank you to Barton Mill, Bedrock, Alisani, the big names that are out here, and my group of guys, we trusted them with our lives. We like to hear the, hey, that's cool, or how'd they do that, or I can't believe they do that for a living. That's what keeps us going.